Most people think what let Rome dominate the known world was the training of its legionaries, or the sheer stubbornness of its commanders. It wasn't really either. Plenty of Rome's enemies were just as fierce. The Gauls genuinely terrified them. The real weapon wasn't the sword. It was the infrastructure, the bureaucratic, military, and architectural systems Rome ran on. Together, they turned the empire into a single, ruthless machine. And the marching camp was one of its gears. Because every night on campaign, the army did something no one else did. It built itself a fortress, and then, by dawn, erased it completely. Every single night, for an entire war. That sounds insane. It wasn't. It was one gear in the machine that conquered the world. Let me show you how it turned. Start with the problem every ancient general feared, but almost none solved. An army is never weaker than when it's moving. On the march, it's a long, thin line, strung out for miles, tired, half its weapons packed away. Hit that line right, and you don't fight an army. You fight 100 confused groups who can't even see each other. And the single worst moment is nightfall. The army stops, men scatter to rest, discipline loosens. A night attack on an unprepared camp could end a war in an hour. Most armies dealt with this by hoping. Camp on a hill, post a few sentries, trust the dark. Even the Greeks, brilliant as they were, mostly shaped their camp to fit whatever ground they happened to find. Rome refused to hope. They made a decision so simple, it's easy to miss how radical it was. The army would not adapt to the land would adapt to the army. The Greek historian Polybius watched them do this and couldn't get over it. Everyone else fit the camp to the terrain. The Romans forced the exact same fortress onto the terrain. Every time, anywhere. Build, don't hope. Hold on to that, because in a few minutes you'll see how it turned even a lost battle into something an army could walk away from. So how do you build a fortress in a couple of hours, exhausted, on ground you've never seen? You don't improvise. You follow a plan you've already built 1,000 times. And it begins before the army even arrives. A team of surveyors rides ahead. Their main tool is almost laughably simple: the groma, a wooden cross with weighted strings that lets them sight perfectly straight lines across open ground. They plant one flag where the commander's tent will stand. And everything, every road, every gate, every tent, gets measured out from that single point. The camp isn't thrown together, it's drawn. 2 roads cross it, the Via Principalis running across, the Via Praetoria running down to the main gate. The same 2 roads, the same crossing, every single night. And here's the quiet genius of it. The layout never changed. Cavalry here, this legion there. The commander always dead center, always. Which means a soldier stumbling in at night, in the rain, in a land he'd never seen, already knew where his tent was, where the water was, where the exit was. He'd slept in this camp 100 times, because it was always the same camp. Think about what that deletes. No confusion, no wandering in the dark. And panic in the dark is exactly the thing that destroys armies. The standard layout killed the panic before it could even start. They had turned a campsite into a machine with interchangeable parts. Now they just had to build it. And this is the part that should genuinely impress you. The main army arrives, and there is no rest first. The men who just marched all day under full load pick up tools and start digging immediately. They cut a ditch around the entire perimeter and throw the earth up on the inside into a rampart. Ditch below, wall above. An attacker has to drop into a trench and climb a bank, under fire, before he even reaches a Roman. On top of the rampart goes a palisade of sharpened stakes. And here's the detail people love. Each legionary carried his own stakes, all day, every day. The fortress wasn't waiting for them. They carried the wall on their backs and marched it to wherever they'd sleep. The work was divided so cleanly that thousands of men could raise the defenses of a small town in a couple of hours. Not by rushing, but because every single man already knew his exact job before the first shovel hit the dirt. Each unit had its own stretch of wall, its own length of ditch. Nobody organized it that night. It had been organized once, and after that it was simply true, forever. 4 gates, one to a side, each one guarded. And a clear open strip just inside the wall, so no enemy fire could reach the tents, and so the men could form up instantly the moment the horn sounded. By nightfall, an empty field has become a rectangular fortress. Straight streets, a command post, water, latrines, and thousands of men who know exactly where to stand if anyone attacks. And then, remember the question from the very start? At dawn, they tear it all down. Burn the stakes or shoulder them, fill nothing back in, and march away. To build the entire thing again that night. So why? Why wreck yourself every evening for something you'll abandon at sunrise? Because it changed what the army was. A Roman force on the march was never just an army in the open. It was an army that could become a fortress, anywhere, in a single evening, the moment it chose to. You couldn't catch it asleep. You couldn't ambush it at night. The instant it stopped moving, it was behind walls. The most dangerous moment for any army, nightfall, Rome had simply engineered out of existence. And the defenses were nastier than they looked. Into the ditch, the Romans drove rows of sharpened stakes, angled outward and half-hidden. To even reach the wall, an attacker had to throw himself down into that trench, onto the points, and then claw his way up the bank. And waiting above him was the worst part. Behind the palisade ran a raised fighting platform, a walkway wide enough for ranks of archers and javelin men to stand and shoot. So the enemy struggled in the ditch, exposed, while a storm of missiles fell on him from men he could barely touch. The wall wasn't a barrier, it was a killing ground. And think about what that did to the men facing them. You watch an army you outnumber stop at dusk, and before the light is gone, raise a walled town out of bare earth. You haven't lost a battle, and already you feel beaten. Rome's speed and engineering broke the enemy's nerve before the first blow ever landed. And remember, I promised this turned a lost battle into something survivable. Here's how. Lose in the open, and a normal army is destroyed in the rout, cut down as it runs. A Roman army could fall back to its camp. The walls turned a catastrophe into a bad afternoon. Read Caesar's own account of the war in Gaul, and you see it on nearly every page. He arrives, he fortifies the camp, and then he deals with the enemy. The camp comes first, always. It's the unglamorous habit sitting underneath every famous victory. And this is the thing the documentaries skip. We remember the charges and the eagles, but the average legionary spent far more of his life holding a shovel than a sword. He was a soldier second. He was a builder first. Remember the machine from the start, the systems that ran the empire. The camp was one of its gears, and this man, with this shovel, was what made it turn. So when we ask why Rome conquered the world, the honest answer isn't they fought best. Their enemies were often braver, often stronger. The Gauls, again, terrified them. Rome won because it refused to leave anything to luck, that it could build a way instead. It didn't hope the night would be quiet. It built a wall against the night, every night, on purpose. An enemy can break a tired army in the open. What he cannot break is a fortress that didn't exist an hour ago and will be gone an hour after dawn. That isn't a story about heroes. It's a story about a machine.